So this is the posture video. So the first thing to do is stand feet shoulder width apart, and then crucially get your arm in line with your shoulder, and then put your grip on. Now the key part here is kicking the rear out here, push it out. And then I want the weight to be on the front of my knees, balls of my feet. So that's a slightly exaggerated what we don't want. So this picture here is when, if I bend my knees too much, it moves my spine angle back, and it should be there, but that's very exaggerated, but it does happen because often with tall players they overbend. And then weight front of the knees, balls of the feet, and there, that's me standing too far away. My arms should be hanging, and then face on, the same exercise. And there's a good image for grip pressure points. So just to confirm grip pressure, so in the glove hand it's these three, and in the right hand it's those two middle ones. The two middle ones are the grip pressure points. Now, I personally prefer the club in what we call a more neutral position. Why is that? So neutral is the club and the hands more or less in line with each other. So they can be a little bit ahead, which is slightly above the ball, but the foot image I just showed you a second ago, that can be great, but the problem is you de-loft the club. The modern club is very strong lofted anyway, and you get mixed launch angles, and crucially I think when you get to the 4 and the 5 iron, the longer clubs, it becomes a bit of a battle to flight it. It does improve strike, and it can be a way of stopping people scooping the ball, but I prefer a more neutral approach. And then there's always confusion with the sole of the club. Now, the sole of the club doesn't sit flat. That's the toe, which I'm pointing at, and that's the heel. And people try and get the club flat. So they try and get it totally flat, when actually it can sit at an angle. Yeah, there we go. So that's the club sitting at a more natural angle. So there's a gap from the toe to the ground. Now we don't want too much gap, but we just want a gap. The problem is if you have that gap flat, it often creates that position, which is an overly tense arms at address. Now obviously we've got Bryson DeChambeau out there now shelling it from that position, but it's a very unconventional and very tense position, and I wouldn't recommend it. He stands a lot closer to the ball, so it's pretty rare, so try not to go rare. Yeah, see that my left arm's super tense. Now I'm going to just relax my arms and let the club sit. So my arms, I say to juniors, I teach them like a gorilla, they're hanging. And we broadly, I've got more or less a straight arm down. There is a bit of a technique when we get the arms out a little bit, which I will sort of personalise more with my students. So that's the setup. Weight on the front of the knees, balls of the feet, and I'm bending from my rear and my arms are hanging. The key part when I'm often talking about posture is just pushing that rear out. Thank you very much.